Lauren Hutt has never played basketball competitively, but this sport has become the most defining component of her identity. Long before Lauren was spending her days on the hardwood, the New York native was always by her father's side. Mark Hutt was a simple man. He enjoyed racing cars, spending time with loved ones, and drinking a good cup of coffee.
He was a badass. He drove a motorcycle. He had all these cars. I think before kids were born, he said he had a matter of 20 cars. So that's where we definitely formed a specific bond. He would bring me to Englishtown, New Jersey, and we would go to races, and fell in love with just the sport of racing. I mean, it's 4 seconds maximum, but there was something about it that he really enjoyed, and he enjoyed taking me. Because out of 4 kids, there has to be some specific tie with each of them, and that was ours.
Lauren's father supported her each and every step of the way, as she became a member of the Brewster High School volleyball team and a statistician for the men's basketball team. But everything changed in 2011, when her dad was rushed to the hospital after passing out at work.
My family left to get some dinner, and I stayed with him because I could not leave him. There's an attachment that I know I can't describe into words that I had with my dad, and I just couldn't leave him. Despite him sleeping, I knew he'd be fine, but I couldn't. So the nurse walks in, no one knows what's wrong with him yet. She hands me a packet labeled bladder cancer. I just started crying because my dad's asleep, my family's not there. She asked me to sign paperwork. She asked me if I was 18, and I said yes, and she said, you're going to be a medical proxy in case something happens before your mom gets back, and I just started crying. He has cancer. What do you mean he has cancer? He's sleeping. I'm dealing with this. It was complete overload of emotion of why us, why me.
Mark Hutt was a fighter from the moment of his cancer diagnosis. Despite going through weekly chemotherapy, Lauren's father mustered the strength to make it to his daughter's graduation. A few months later, Lauren began college at Virginia Commonwealth University. She turned her love of sports into a job with the men's basketball team. Working for head coach Shaka Smart, Lauren did everything from volunteering at games to babysitting the coach's children. While life in Virginia couldn't be better, life back home in New York took a turn for the worst.
On my birthday, so December 23rd, so after I got home, we found out that the bladder cancer spread. So it went to the spine and then eventually to the brain. So we didn't even know it had gone into the spine. So we were all about trying. My dad said, give me everything you can until you can't. Like, I want you to still be giving me drugs and treatments until I die. Just keep going. I can't willingly give up on this, you know.
With her father's condition declining, Lauren began to think about transferring closer to home. In February 2012, Mark Hutt went into a coma.
He died the day I got home. So I had flown on it was the earliest flight they let me out was I think it was like a 6:30 a.m. flight, and he passed away at noon. I still think he was in a coma, so he went 8 days without food and water. That's like very unheard of, you know what I mean? So I think in my head, he waited until I was home with my family to go.
He lost his battle with cancer, and his second oldest daughter, Lauren, was distraught.
I took it the worst for sure, and I was sleeping in his closet. I know that sounds so extreme, but I needed to still be close to him because when he was passing away, my siblings were there and they got to be there, and I was still at school trying to live this he'll be fine type of life, and he wasn't.
Lauren finished her semester at VCU and transferred to Fordham University in the fall of 2012. She began to work in the men's basketball office and made an immediate impact.
But she was a college freshman. She was off the charts with her ability to be organized and to be trustworthy and get jobs done in a timely fashion, and then eventually take it to the next level and come out with great ideas and concepts for some of the things we were doing. So it didn't take long. We put a lot on her plate, and she's responded.
You forget sometimes that she's a student, and I mean that in a good way, because she's so efficient, she's so organized, she's so dedicated, and she's so committed to our program. And people don't realize that, how much stuff she does. I think people are getting a better idea of it now. I think people will have an even better idea next year when she leaves, and we're kind of looking around, saying, where's Hutt?
The Fordham basketball team has become Lauren Hutt's second family. The Rose Hill Gym is her home away from home, and the coaching staff fills her biggest void.
They've been father figures. They've been everything to me. They've been here day in and day out, more days than I've spent with my dad probably in my whole life. And I'm sure if he could go back and be like, hey, have a cup of coffee with me, he would love to. Him and Coach Pecora, he never met my dad, would bond wonderfully because they're so similar in so many ways.
One of those fathers is assistant coach Tom Parada. The Fordham alum can certainly relate to Lauren unlike anyone else, as he lost his father during his freshman year of college.
I'm always pretty aware of the time of year when she's going through some hard times, and maybe perhaps the anniversary of her dad's death and things like that. So we're pretty in tune with that kind of stuff. But if you had gone through it yourself, you have a personal understanding of what that person might be going through, at specific times.
During her time at Fordham, Lauren has interned for the Brooklyn Nets, worked for the Atlantic 10 Conference, and received the prestigious Patrick Keneally Award for her service to the athletic department. It's safe to say Lauren Hutt is one of a kind.
I've been at Fordham 18 years now, and in my 18 years I've never met someone like her, and I will probably be here another 18. I guarantee I won't meet someone like her. You know, it's one of those things, like a coach will have that All-American player graduate, and they'll say, well, we can't replace that player. You know, we don't even think about replacing that. Lauren Hutt's one of those people. We're not going to be able to replace her. We'll have somebody come in and do a similar job, but there's only one Lauren Hutt.
It's been almost 2 years since Lauren Hutt lost her father. While the road to recovery has been challenging, Lauren has turned her tragedy into triumph, thanks to Fordham and thanks to basketball.
It no longer brings sadness, it now brings me joy to think of him. I don't think of, yeah, you get sad when you go to the grave and you get sad when it's Father's Day, but I have 7 fathers now. You know what I mean? From losing one, I've gained the support of so many people, and I don't know if that would have been here had it not happened. So losing him, I gained a lot of things, and I'm grateful for that.